transition pictures for Buddha. Siddhārtha Gautama, I think his original name was. He was born in Nepal. He lived for 80 years and spent 45 of those years teaching spiritual principles, many of which I think he'd come up with himself, and which formed the basis of Buddhism. In many ways, it was about overcoming hatred and too much desire and ignorance in order to be an enlightened human being. And the more you got rid of these base feelings, these base emotions, the higher will be your vibration and the closer to nirvana you got. So actually, when it came to doing the Buddha, I had no fix on this guy at all. So I simply opened my mind to see what would happen. And immediately, and this is unlike anything I've seen before, immediately there was this nugget of light floating in front of me in the pictures. A nugget of light. But I instantly, this is me now, instantly felt emotional. Genuine welling up of emotion. Again, I've never felt that before with these transition pictures. And this light felt like the opposite of a black hole. The entirety of the universe was condensed into this one light. And then the weirdest thing happened. The back of my head here felt like it was starting to swell up. And it was throbbing just here. You could like put both thumbs on it, like that size, on here. And in fact I did, I pushed it like that, and it was throbbing. And felt like it was swelling up like a boil on the back of my head. And while this was going on, I was trying to follow this nugget as it moved. Everything around it was a distant mist. As it starts moving, I begin to get the concept of this tunnel thing again. So I have a sort of sense of space. Topography. But it didn't have any of those other tunnels and offshoots and all that other stuff that people have had before. There was a path that went up. And this nugget drifted up the direction of this pathway. And I followed it while this thing is like throbbing on the back of my head. I followed it up this pathway. It came to that pool of light that I saw when I did the pictures for the child dying, the baby dying. Remember that? I saw those pictures like a pool, but that in itself was like a membrane to pass through. And that's where the nugget went. I, on the other hand, got the strongest feeling ever that if I pass through that film of light along with this nugget, if I pass through that film of light, I would never come back. I don't know, but I suspect that if I had gone through that, I might have reached another of my exit points in life. You know, we all have exit points, times when we could go, but if we have something else to do, we can choose to stay, or our higher self will guide us to stay. We all have those moments throughout our life, I think. This seemed to be one of mine. And I had a feeling that if I chose to go through that film, this thing, whatever this thing is, It's gone now. But whatever this thing is would burst, do something. I don't know what. It felt like something was happening inside my head. So I backed off. But when I did the baby pictures, and I was just following a baby through, I was able to go. It didn't feel like I was involved in that. I was just watching. And it was all white. It was a featureless void of white. This time I felt that if I followed this light up through the pool, I wouldn't be coming back. And I withdrew. The light went into the pool and was gone. And as I came back down the curved path, this thing on the back of my head stopped growing or bubbling up or whatever it was going to do. It's not really there anymore. But it stopped. I thought I was going to have an aneurysm or some other brain issue. And it wasn't me making it up. I could actually press on it with my thumbs. It was a growth of some kind, which has now gone away. That's Buddha. It's not entirely unthinkable that people who lived in that time were in the presence of something huge. That's why he was able to teach and why he came armed with so many philosophies and drew such a crowd and was able to found a religion. When this guy transitioned, he was an egoless, sort of empty vessel, but with such a density to his goodness that it was a straight route up and out. So maybe that is nirvana. That's the final cycle of life. When you've been through all your lifetimes and you've learned your lessons, and you end up in nirvana. Because Buddha means enlightened one. So it does seem that these iconic figures from history, or at least one of them, Buddha, have something that the rest of us don't. My heart's beating. My heart's beating faster because it really was an experience for me. I have never witnessed that before, or felt it in such a strong way. That was it. That was the Buddha. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. Subscribe, like, share, do whatever you can. And I'll be back soon. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye, guys.